Hi, I'm Erin Knight, and I'm a nature educator here at Lake Conisty Nature Preserve. Today I'm proud to introduce to you Anthony Martin, a great friend of Lake Conisty Nature Preserve. Anthony is an avid birder and a member of the Greenville County Bird Club. He's a fantastic photographer. In fact, if you see a photo of wildlife from the preserve on our website or on one of our posts on social media, it's most likely from Anthony. And he's also a professor at Clemson University. He's going to tell you why Lake Conisty Nature Preserve is important to him.
So, why is Lake Conisty Nature Preserve important to me? Well, I can start by saying that I moved to Greenville in 1998, and I only live 10 minutes away from Conisty. That's a big thing. I learned about the preserve and started visiting the preserve in 2013. Prior to that, I had never even heard of it. Uh, And at that time, when I started coming to the park, I didn't know the difference between a great blue heron and a great egret. And not only did I not know the difference, but I didn't even know the birds existed. Okay. I didn't know there was a such thing as a warbler, and many different kinds of warblers. And I didn't know there was such thing as a kinglet, little bitty birds that, maybe about that tall. So I didn't know any of that stuff. I was a newbie birder and I was a newbie photographer at the same time. So anyway, one day I was out there walking around the Woody Walk Boardwalk, and I got down to one end of it, and I saw this little bitty bird, yellowish bird, down on the ground, in the grass, sort of hiding, peeping up at me, and the bird had a black mask around his eyes. And when I saw that little bird first time ever, I said to myself, that's a Lone Ranger bird down on the ground, the Lone Ranger bird. And of course, somebody corrected me. Uh, they don't call birds Lone Ranger birds. They call that one a common yellow-throated warbler. And I'm like, who names these birds, right? It looks like a Lone Ranger bird to me. They should have called it that. But anyway, uh, so I went on to become a more frequent visitor to the preserve. I walked all the paths, all the hidden paths that go here and there. Sometimes you don't see many birds on those paths, but I was still back there. And eventually I learned my way around and I could get in and out and I wouldn't get lost and that kind of thing. So that was kind of part of it. But I started getting into the photography. I started getting these lenses like you see this one here. And I would spend more and more time out there, spend time on the decks and that kind of thing. Even in the wintertime when it's 28 degrees out there and everybody else is, at home warm, uh, I would be out there on the deck thinking about the various things that were important to me at the time. Some of those things could be, what's going on at work, what's going on with family issues, what kind of research am I working on, what are my students doing, what are they stuck on, what courses am I lecturing on, and that kind of thing. So just various things that I could think about while I was out there in those moments where there's no activity around. And so it became a place to think, to reflect, to contemplate, to discover, to learn. In terms of capturing the beauty of wildlife, you could learn how to do all these things because there are many creatures that live out in the park, and so you never know what you're going to see. And so it was just sort of wide open. It was a place of wonderment, amazing sights, and you just never know what you're going to see when you're in the park. And then in addition to that, over time, you would meet other visitors to the preserve, and you don't necessarily see the people that much, but you see them, on the times you're there when your paths overlap or cross, you see them and interact briefly with those people. And then as you do that over the years, those little moments start to add up and they start to get a weight, in your mind. And there's a place for those interactions with those people in your being, and they become a part of you. And so what I have come to realize is that whoever came up with that phrase, a world apart, when describing Lake Constantine Nature Park, really knew what they were talking about, because it indeed is a world apart. And it's a place where the wild things live. And that is really important to me. And I hope that's important to everyone else.
When I hear Anthony's story, what I hear is that Lake Coniston Nature Preserve has changed his life. It's changed mine too, so I really relate to what he shared. And I appreciate that he has discovered a world apart, just like I have. And I hope you have too. And if you haven't, it's time for you to. I invite you to do that now. Come out tomorrow, come out today, but come and see the special place that's Lake Coniston Nature Preserve. And I love the phrase he used, it's where the wild things live. That's exactly right. And I love that he wants you to support the place where the wild things live. That's what we want too. So we hope that you'll do that. Do that today. Go to conestypreserve.org/events, and you'll see ways to get involved with our online auction and barbecue, which is happening right now. And no one says it better than Anthony just did. There's so many reasons to get involved with the barbecue, with the auction, and to give throughout the year to support Lake Coniston Nature Preserve.